this. All right. Again, apologies to the YouTubers. Ready to go. While I'm waiting for Hendo, I'm going to ignore you YouTube viewers and see if we've got any activity in the group. All right, questions? Hendo says on his way. All right, that means he's going to the beer fridge. He's going to get his Hollandia or his better beer if he was able to find some, because that was the plan, was to find some better beer. And hopefully he did. It's not easy to find. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I will, because I've got nothing else to talk about. I did manage to find better beer. Took me 3 bottle shops to find it. And I got the bottle instead of the can, which was a little bit disappointing because I wanted to drink it out of the can. But still found it. So that's a winner. All right, Hendo, here he is. Let's go. Hendo, what's
going on?
You got your Easy Time shirt on.
Well, it is their it's their first birthday or something this Saturday, so
nice.
I will be attending their first birthday breakfast for a bit of day drinking for the hell of it. So why not?
Nice. Your internet's either struggling or it's mine. I don't know which one it is, but
it's probably mine. I've had a few issues with it over the last couple of days, so I will do my best and just gently pat it.
Are you doing the phone tethering, or have you actually got internet now?
No. The NBN has royally messed up my application, and I am without internet or NBN for another 11 days.
That sounds right. Well, it worked last week all right, didn't it?
Am I sounding pretty average, am I?
There's a pretty bad delay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I've got bars, so
all right. Let's kick on and see how we go.
I'm doing the best I can. Yeah,
you got a beer? Oh wait, shout out to
What's
Easy
been
Times.
happening?
I thought I'd mention that they came up in conversation today because apparently their new hazy IPA is delicious. Ian informed me of, so I asked him to go get us some. So hopefully he will, and I'll get to drink it because I won't be up there on the weekend.
Cuzzy is a bit of a Sabro fan.
Me too. Don't mind it.
Oh, really?
Sabro gets a bit of hate, doesn't it?
Well, some people think it tastes like coconut.
It does. What's wrong with coconut?
Well, yeah. I suppose it is kind of tropical when you think about it, eh?
Nothing not to like about coconut. Remember Wipeout? That shit was great.
Do you mean like the Malibu knockoff drink?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, shit. It's going back.
Right.
I had hair then. Fucking hell.
Oh. You got a beer?
Have you got a beer? I've got a beer. I've got a better beer, actually.
Right, let me get a screenshot of that.
What have you got?
Do that again.
Oh, okay.
Wait, hold that for a bit longer.
Here's my glass.
Where'd you get that from? They're not fucking easy to find.
Did you find some eventually?
Well, I'll get to my beer after yours. You do yours first. Give us a review. Give us a live review.
All right. Okay, here we go. I've never had this beer, but everyone in the Facebook group was talking about it. So now I want to tell you about this glass. I've worked very hard to clean this glass today.
What did you do? What was your process?
I have got the pink powder out, pink powder, and then I gave it a hot rinse, and then I put it in the fridge. I haven't touched it. If it's fucked, therefore that will be my glass washing skills.
Good looking can, isn't it?
Come on, be good to me. Oh man.
Oh no.
So close. So close. Better, but not quite.
Better?
I need to practice.
Not much better, to be honest.
Better. Fucking this pink powder shit I have to use to get these glasses clean. It's fucked. Anyway, here we are. Let's try this better beer. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm. It's I can understand why people would rave about it. There's not much going on. It's not too bad. It's got a nice bit of malt sweetness to it. A little bit of metallic happening, actually, to be fair, which kind of takes a bit away from it. It's very, very pale. It's probably a bit of adjunct in there, no doubt. Clean. Yeah. I can understand why people would rave about it, that sort of thing. It's, what is it, $60 a box?
I know it's $18 a six-pack.
It's not going to replace Hollandia, unfortunately. Yeah, it's pretty cheap. But if I can still buy 24 500ml cans of Hollandia for $53, then why would I pay $60 for 24 355ml cans? Hollandia's still a better beer. Pretty close, but I'm still leaning towards Hollandia.
All right. Well, after three bottle shop visits, I finally managed to find it as well. And this is all I could get.
Oh shit! You got it in a bottle.
I got it in a bottle. That's all they had.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's a BWS. It's a fucking cool bottle, isn't it? It's pretty cool.
I wonder if there's a difference there of it being in a bottle versus being in a can. You really struggled to find it, didn't you?
I did, and I probably struggled to open that bottle because I haven't done that for about 10 years. Let me have a look. I can see my glass is dirty just eyeballing it. So
Ambassador.
Wow, this needs a bit of activity here. How's that looking? Looks pretty similar to yours. It's nice and light.
Clear bottle. How's that glass looking?
Not bad. Like that?
Your glass is so clean. How do you do?
That's just dishwasher and it's been sitting there not used for a long time. I don't normally use this glass. I don't drink lager, so you got to remember that. Oh, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 81 calories, 4.2%. I know that makes you angry. Pretty fucking good.
Not bad. It's a pretty it's all right drop. I just get a little bit of a metallic note in it, but not overly. That's pretty common with these types of beers, that sort of thing. So, my internet seems to be really dodgy.
It is dodgy. Do you want to? You know what we should do? We should try and kill
this problem today. I had to end a class.
Why don't we kill the video and
yeah,
see if the audio is a bit better? Because I'm sorry, everyone on YouTube, but there's only 10 viewers there, and we've got 12 on the.
How's that? Is that a bit better?
App. I think that is better.
That's all you get. Yeah. Okay. Good.
I should say at the start of this episode that we have our first sponsor.
Yeah. So Really? Who's
Yes.
that?
Well, should we name them now, or should we? Because I've actually got one of their beers. Do you have one of their beers? It's a beer sponsor.
I do, but not here.
Okay. Well, we'll announce it now then. But I've got one ready to go for after this one.
We could probably reveal it and then get the first batch of beers next week or something like that.
Yeah. Well, the sponsor is
What do you reckon?
Helios, and it's one of the Adam Shells. I'm not sure which one. And,
The real Adam.
okay. Well, I know.
That's
I know
what
is
he's in my phone as.
there's two, and I don't know which one's which.
Yes.
But he's offered to be our sponsor, and he's at least sent me beer today. I only got the beer today, so I don't know if you got beer. Did you get beer today?
He tried to send me beer today. He sent me a text message when I was in class, and I was like, and he said, "Oh, can I'll bring some beers around. I'll pop around. I can drop them around now." And I was like, "Oh, I was really busy this afternoon, so I had to decline." But I like the beers.
Nice. Well, I told him you don't need to send us beer every week to be a sponsor, an ongoing sponsor, because I feel like it's probably not really necessary. But he can be a sponsor of just this episode, and maybe next episode, because I got that other Kronos one in my fridge, so we can have that next week and sponsor 2 episodes.
Yeah. I've got quite a few Helios beers in my fridge. Hey.
Yeah, Helios is great. Do you want to say something nice about Helios? I said to him, you can send us some text to read out on the show, but that was only about 20 minutes ago. So,
yep.
But they're great.
20 minutes ago.
Wait,
never mind.
He's replied to me. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
What's yeah. So he says, got an updated IPA we can today, and I think I organised some Heracles. How do you say that name? Heracles. That's the beer. Heracles. Okay, that's the beer he sent us today.
Yeah.
God, he's going to send us beer next week as well. All right.
Okay.
He wants to know how to get beer to you, Hendo. Can drop it off at your place, or you can drop by.
Oh, I'm not far away.
To me. Brilliant.
Away from Helios, so he knows where I live. He's come and help with the renos, so sounds good. All right. Oh, there you go. We've got a fucking sponsor. There you go. Yeah. Thank you, Helios.
We'll crack the Heracles next after the better beer.
Heracles.
Sorry. Heracles. All right.
Heracles.
Now, I fucked this up a little bit because I thought that we were getting Leon on again tonight to talk about Facebook groups, and I did put that in the group about what question.
We're not getting Leon again tonight.
No, I realized that when you told me that, and then he also said the same thing. So, but he's keen to come on next week, so we'll talk about Facebook groups next week.
Okay, cool.
But we've got the hottest 100 sub lists come out this week. I thought that could be a fun thing to look at.
Yep.
Have you got the link in front of you?
Yeah, I'm just going to pull.
So you've got the new brews,
have a look here.
And then you've got more lists underneath that.
All right. What do you want to look at first?
Well, new brews comes up first, so why don't we go over that?
Okay. Well, Better Beer is the top new brew of the year, coming in at number 6.
Number 6, which we're
East Coast
right
Haze. Wow. There you go. Second to top new beer. What are you going to do next? What are you going to do next year? Is it going to be vote GOAT, or is it going to be vote East Coast Haze?
I don't know. We'll have to wait. I think the national ranging for Endeavour comes out in the next couple of weeks. So if East Coast gets ranged nationally, that would be really good for us. But if it doesn't, then GOAT will still be our most ranged beer. So we might just stick with it. But I feel like East Coast is probably the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else we got in there? We've got Revel. That's a high one, isn't it? Strawberries and cream. It's a pretty wild beer to be a debut in the third spot.
That beer did really well.
Mm.
Being the only Revel beer that made it into the the hottest 100, and it was like it was a sour, and it got a fair way up too. It was pretty good.
Yeah, well, it came 39th, and it was the third new beer. Man, it's pretty hard to get a new beer ranking up the top, isn't it? There's only 5 in the top 50.
Yeah. It's interesting, hey?
You've got Bolter Hazy in there. That's pretty good. 47. Capital, West Coast Nipa. They had a lot of. Oh wait, was that? Yeah, Capital and Mountain Culture. They had a lot of beers in the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ranger in there. Sidewinder's in there. Another Black Ops Hop Swap. Rattenhunder's in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little Creatures Pacific Ale. That's pretty good. 80 at 82.
Have you tried that?
I have not.
Oh, okay. I accidentally tried it. I was having a beer at the regatta, and I said I asked for a Pacific Ale and wound up with a Little Creatures Pacific Ale.
What was it like? I can imagine.
Floral. It was floral,
Hmm.
and I didn't really rate it. It was
What
just.
didn't you rate about it?
It was for me. It was like a little bit artificial, kind of this floral thing going on. Now there have been like floral hops. I remember back in the day. You'd remember this, Dan. Back when we were brewing in 2011 and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Centennial used to be a really lovely floral hop, and it was delicious. But it's not like that anymore. But that's agricultural product, but this was floral in a really sort of artificial type of way. It was kind of strange.
Interesting. Oh, I'll have to try it. I didn't expect that. I kind of thought it would just be a sort of a basic bitch pack ale, But
it's definitely a knockoff beer.
Yeah.
I'm
still
that reminds me. So do you remember Thunder Road did Pacific Ale as well?
Well, they were the
years
first
ago.
one. Weren't they the ones that had the whole court case and everything?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And so I was living in Melbourne at the time, and it was like the first of the knockoff Pacific Ales and stuff like that, or the faux Pacific Ales or whatever you want to call it. And I went to a pub and they happened to have it. And I went, curiosity got the better of me, and I went, I ordered one. And it was all right. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it was, reasonably good beer and that sort of thing. And so I was using Untapped at the time. Do you remember Untapped?
I still check Untapped fairly regularly.
Yeah. And so I checked it in on Untapped, and therefore it went up on Twitter. And my comment was, what did I say? Good knockoff beer, I said. And my take on it was that it was a knockoff of Stone and Wood Pacific Ale, and they assumed that I was actually just finished work and was having a knockoff beer, and so they retweeted it, and I was
no.
So there you go.
Nice. Yeah, well, I'm still dirty about the whole Pacific Ale thing. Although I noticed when Stone and Wood sold and that question came up, they kind of said, "Oh, we don't care anymore. Everyone can do a Pacific Ale. It's for everyone." So maybe I shouldn't be dirty about it. But I thought Pacific Ale's their beer. They should just be allowed to keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I fixed my internet, mate. I'm going to turn my camera on.
Really?
Am I sounding better?
Yeah. What'd you do?
There's a dodgy app that was doing stuff. Am I sounding better?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Were you syncing Google Drive or something?
No. I had there's a little app, a helper app for my webcam.
Yeah.
That adjusts brightness and stuff. And whenever that's running, it kills the internet. And now this is working fine. I'm blown away.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, I could have fixed my class today. I just realized. And I spent $250 getting internet fixed today.
Oh, that's shit. The internet in Australia is just a fucking joke. But anyway, it's not a tech podcast, is it? It's a beer podcast.
No.
Welcome
back, YouTube.
Yes. The rest of this list is pretty much Bolter and Coopers and Little Creatures. Have you had this Little Creatures Hazy IPA? I haven't had that one either.
What number was that one?
122, but it's up there in terms of new beers. There's not that many new beers that made the list.
What about the Coopers Australian IPA? I haven't had that either. Little Creatures Hazy IPA? No, I have not had that. Geez, Bolter's really crushed the new beers this year.
Yeah, but these are all outside of the 100, like Cryo 100, Hazy Wonderland 117, Cryomo for 134. So they would have been super close to getting the most amount of beers in the list. They're only sort of 10, 20 votes
Just
out of
out.
the list for all those
Yeah.
3 beers.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
That's,
which kind of makes sense because they didn't release that many beers, but they're all pretty fucking good. Like those, well, very good. All those beers are very good.
Wow, there's another one. Bolton's just crushed the new beers this year. That's really interesting.
Yeah, well, because they
Really
did the four kind of West Coast, didn't they? West Coast, Electric Wonderland, West Coast.
And then there's
IPA,
all these
Cryo
hazy West
Mofo,
Coast IPA, hazy IPA,
Wonderland, yeah.
hazy IPA, easy hazy. Interesting. What's
Yeah.
the next list?
They did well. All right, so Aussie craft beer. That's
a new beers.
That's new. Oh, the next is the 100 to 200. Let's have a look at that one because.
Okay. How do I go to that?
Just scroll down the bottom. Oh, this was a shame because the guys from Welder's Dog came in at 101. Wait, how come that wasn't in the best new beers? I guess it's a new to the
Welder's
list,
Dog,
but
which
not a
beer?
new beer. Piney Pale Ale. That sucks, doesn't it? Coming in at 101.
Welder's Dog. Oh, yeah.
I think I'm meeting with them next week. They're coming up to Queensland for something.
Yeah,
I
cool.
want to say hi.
Oh, Donny just got 102. That's a bugger.
102. Yep. Capital got another one there. Black Ops
Caribbean
Haze.
Haze.
Caribbean Haze was like pretty high up the list last year, I think.
Revel Mango and Macca. Couple more Coopers. Diablo.
Heads of Noosa. Did Heads of Noosa make the list? They're in here. They've got
Yeah,
like 4
I think
beers in the.
Yeah, I think they got up there.
Black Ops Send It again made the list last year, not this year. We had 3 beers that made the list last year that didn't make it this year.
As in made the 100 last year, not the
Yep.
100 to 200.
Yeah.
Heads of Noosa have 3 or 4 beers just outside the 100.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So wait, did they make the 100? Let me check.
Pretty sure they did.
I have to click here 50 times to search for names, which is a little bit annoying. But this website is actually a lot better than it used to be. So, oh wait, I'm on the new beers list.
Natty Lager at 124. Young Henrys. That's really disappointing.
Why?
I see that everywhere, and I like that beer.
124 is not a bad result.
It's good. It's a good hit, but I just thought it would be in the 100 because it's all about the distribution and that sort of thing as well. So
yeah, they've also got because Newtown is like their big flagship beer, isn't it? So they probably everyone votes for Newtowner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Young Henry's had Newtowner and that Rolling Stone collab, Rolling Stone magazine collab, the Unifier.
Unifier, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't tried that.
Heads of Noosa. Japanese lager came at number 21.
Yeah, that's
the
a great
biggest
beer.
one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. That's everywhere, man. I was up at the Eaton's Hill Hotel last Saturday for my nephew's birthday, and it's on tap at the EH.
That beer is definitely everywhere. Anywhere on the sunny coast, you go to every fucking surf club, that beer's on tap.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently their brewery's like super legit. Have you been there?
Yes, I have. It is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a Braucon, I think. Really expensive German brew house.
They got 2 brew houses or one?
No, just one. So just a big one.
Yeah.
Big, really expensive bottling line there. It took them 8 years. It took Craig. What's his name? Craig, and what's his brother's name? There is it as well. I forget. But it took them 8 years to build that brewery, and they built big. They went big.
Yeah. You know? I've heard it's just like massive and can be easily extended type thing. Like the
warehouse is huge. The building that it's in is massive, and loads of room for more tanks and stuff. It's phenomenal. Great beer, good beers, just lager. That's all they do.
Amazing.
No hazies will come out of no hazies will come out of Heads of Noosa.
No. Here's another one. 123 Super Hornet was another one of ours that made the list last year, didn't make it this year. So we had 3, just 23 spots off the 100. So we're kind of like Bolter, had a lot that are really close, didn't quite make it.
you're doing the thing where you're focusing all your votes on goat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's still pretty good.
it's only natural that the other beers will sort of drop and that sort of thing. So,
man, there's some interesting ones here. Kosciuszko Pale Ale's in here at number 126, up 65 places.
yeah, right.
And White Rabbit Dark Ale is in here at 127, which is a return to the list.
I like White Rabbit Dark Ale.
Yeah, it's a good beer.
It's a great beer.
Yeah.
I can drink pints and pints of that stuff. Eh?
Oh, what do you think's going on there? Do you think just these non-indie ones are they're creeping back in because
Little Creatures and White
much?
Rabbit are on the same site. They're both line breweries. Little Creatures have given the Hottest 100 a red hot go this year and have done pretty well. Yeah. And they would have been pushing White Rabbit as well. And that's why you see that. So, yeah, they're just reaching out to their consumers. Must be talking to them a little bit better.
Who owns Kosciuszko? That's another one owned by the majors, isn't it?
That's Lion as well.
That's Lion as well. Yeah.
That's Chuck Hahn's little baby.
Cooper's Vintage Pirate Life. Pirate Life got back in the list this year, didn't they?
Yeah.
There you go. I think people don't care anymore about the.
I think the really interesting.
That seems to be the theme.
It's a really interesting one. Number 150, Thirsty Pro Vanilla Milk Stout, right? Was 150 up 22. That beer's gotten in the top 20. I think it got 11 one year.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't. What is Thirsty Crow Brewing? I don't even know what that is.
It's in Wagga, I think.
Wow.
It's in Wagga.
That's cool.
And there was like a few years ago, like 2015 or something like that. They were crushing it. You know, it's they'll just get that beer in the Hottest 100, top 20, top 10.
Well, there was that year where it was like really localized. Remember, like there was what was the one from Darwin that had like that was super high up. It was like one of the only breweries in Northern Territory. And was it Ten Toes from?
Yeah.
That made it, and Larry crushed it that year. It was just like one of those years where everything was like super localized. It feels like it's gone the other way this year.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Hawks are in here. Green Beacon. That's a name that didn't really turn up, did it? That would probably be their highest at 158. Windjammer, is that their most well-known beer?
Windjammer, yeah, probably.
When's the last time you had a Green Beacon beer?
I don't drink them a lot, eh?
No?
No.
I don't think I've ever had a bad Green Beacon beer in my life.
I've not had good experience with Green Beacon beer.
Really?
Don't want to say too much about it because I'd prefer to have a conversation with the brewer, but I just sort of I've been to the brewery, but it's just had the odd bad experience, and as any consumer would do, you just shy away from it.
In pack or in keg or
both?
They're both. Yeah, right. I've always liked
it. And to be fair, I haven't had Green Beacon in about a year now, so so it's about time I picked myself up and went and revisited Green Beacon and that sort of thing. So yeah,
go have a look. Windjam is always good. Bod Riggy's in there. Hop Nation. Yeah, there you go. Anything else interesting in there? Green Coast Lager, Stone and Woods in there, 168.
Yeah, it's not bad. The Hottest 200 is interesting,
Hawkers, what Hawkers weren't in all this, were they? They were. I think
they got in the 100. I think the IPA.
West Coast. That would make sense.
West Coast IPA. Yeah. The double West Coast got 181.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Dainton Crumben Valley, that's good, 190.
Yeah, that's the way.
Fuck, we've got to get them into the list. Wait, they were in the list last year, I think, weren't they?
Yeah.
That was the year that beer was
great bubblegum sour when won GABS. So.
Yeah.
Heading up to Sunny Coast with
them. That's a good one. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What are you doing up there?
Oh, we're doing a bit of a reconnaissance mission with, Yeah, so whenever, Lukey and Smokey are sort of, planning, expansions or, growth in the business and that sort of thing. Luke is a very pensive person.
What does pensive mean? I know what you mean. He does. Yeah,
he's a
he
thinker.
does.
Right? He's a big thinker.
Yeah.
And he will think about something a lot.
He considers
He's
things.
very, he considers things a lot.
Yes.
But when he makes a decision, he sticks with it, and he pulls off some amazing stuff. And the stuff that and he's really he's the business brains behind Currumbin Valley. Doesn't really like social media or anything like that. And so, a few years ago, when before they built the brewery, I think they were brewing with you guys, doing a bit of gypsy brewing through.
They did one of their first batches with us, yeah.
Yeah,
look at
a little bit of
big one.
That's right, yeah, a little bit of ballistic as well. And they were talking about building a brewery out of upcycled dairy equipment. I said, oh, geez, that's a big undertaking, hey? I said, well, let's go to Melbourne. I'll take you to some breweries that are built from upcycled dairy equipment. So I took them out to Moondog in Abbotsford, which was pretty good. And then I took them out to 7 Cent out near Ballarat. They're not around anymore, but they were doing some amazing stuff. I think that really gave them the inspiration that they could actually build a brewery out of upcycled dairy equipment. And away they went, And so what we're doing is we're just going up for the night tomorrow night.
Fuck yeah, that sounds awesome.
Just to have a few beers and have a look at a few places. So if you're on the sunny coast and you happen to see me kicking around, come and say hi, buy me a beer. I'll buy you a beer.
Say you're one of the 12. That's always good.
That's it. Come and tell us you're one of the 12 and we'll have a beer.
Do you think if you look at the population of the sunny coast, there'd be less than 1/12 of a chance we'd have a fan there if you look at Australia wide. But our fan base of the 12 probably skews towards Queensland. So I'm just trying to think if we do have a fan on the sunny coast. That's all
I would say it's possible. I think there's a 1 in 12 chance. I think that we would have a fan on the sunny coast.
Have you planned out where you're going to go yet?
They have. I have not. I've been very busy unpacking this place and getting settled in and that sort of thing. So yeah. Hey, my renos are finished, but yours are just starting. What's going on with yours?
Yes, mine are starting on Friday, which is nice.
So you're going to need to keep us up to date on a weekly basis, mate.
Well, I don't know. I feel like mine is less fun than yours. I'm not very involved in the whole thing, but I suppose I could give an update. I did.
I saw a bloody bulldozer. I never had a bulldozer.
Yeah, but I wasn't driving it, and I didn't risk myself getting injured. So.
Drive the bulldozer, man.
I don't think they'll let me. It's all. I've outsourced it.
Go get your ticket.
I've outsourced the whole thing, but I did think today we've got a lot of new sheds at BH2, and there's an office section in the middle that needs painting. And like
Are you thinking of doing it yourself?
Well, not personally because we have a painter, and he's very good, Stevie. But the front office, the landlord's getting that painted. They're looking after that. The middle office, I think, is just we just take it as it is. And so, what I'm thinking is we get the half lexicon in the mix and see what happens.
Fuck yes, that's a bloody great idea, man.
Yeah,
actually, in the office.
Yeah, just in the office, nothing crazy.
Yep.
Have you got another better beer, or is that the same one?
Yeah. These things don't even touch the sides, mate.
True. I'll be honest, I fucking enjoyed that. That was pretty bloody good.
That's all right. I didn't mind it.
It was good.
I'm not definitely not. Lots of people have got lots of bad things to say about it.
I haven't heard any bad things about it.
Oh, did you see Matty Cuthberts? He goes, "Oh, this is what he say." He posts the photo. It was in the bottle. Says this is shit. I'm like,
I think it tastes good. Anyway, right. I've got the
It does what it says on the tin. It literally does. So I don't know if it's better.
I've got the Heracles.
I've
got the Hercules. It's a fucking cool little. He's got a tiger on his head. Hercules.
Heracles.
Yeah, and it's a 4.5% Australian pale, and it's a collab with CSC Group Community Sports Clubs, and it's a fucking cool looking can. And I'm gonna crack it right now, and I hope it's good, because if it's not, I'm not a very good liar. Like. And I'm sure it is good. Helios don't fuck around, do they? They're the sort of the real craft beer lovers, craft brewery, aren't they? They get after it with the hops.
Who's that?
Helios.
Yeah, definitely. Charlie's into that. Charlie's interesting. He's a very traditional, from traditional background.
Wow, this is
and he's sort of just getting into lots of experimentation with all the novel hops and that sort of thing. Hey, that looks pretty good.
Looks incredible, beautiful color. It's a bit hazy. It doesn't say hazy on there, but it's pretty thick.
Fuck, I should have had Adzi bloody.
God, this smells good too.
It got canned today, didn't it?
Did it?
Yeah, fuck, I messed up.
Hey, it smells fresh as fuck. 20. That's a week. Well, this one's a week ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm jealous now.
Yeah, it's good. Helios don't fuck around with the hops, do they? They get after it, and you taste it. It's good. Nice aroma. It's keeps you coming back for more. I'm probably going to smash this very quickly.
Good. Get in there, mate.
I love beers that look like that too. I fucking love that. It's beautiful. I'm sorry. I'm not a traditionalist, but look at it. That's what you want.
It's looking good. It's looking good, man.
Yum. I love this Hercules.
Heracles.
Yeah. I noticed one.
That's
other
it.
thing
Looks like we're getting Helios beers next week. I'm down, man.
Yeah. So. I noticed a couple of others in this list that are worth mentioning. Earth Beer Company in Kingscliff got in at 194. That's pretty fucking cool.
That's pretty good for a little rural, brew pub and that sort of thing.
I should say also, the day after we did our crowdfunding last week, me, Eddie, and GABS did a trip to northern New South Wales to go to some of the breweries down there. It was a little bit. It wasn't really planned, but I'd been in contact with the guy Rick, who's building the brewery in Grafton at the old Tooheys Brewery.
Yes, and
he's like, "Come down and have a look." So I went down and had a look at that. That was amazing. And then we stopped in at a bunch of breweries on the way back. So we went to Sanctus, Common People, and Two Mates in Lismore. Common People's in Bangalow. And it was unreal. It was just amazing.
Who's brewing at Two Mates now? I think it's Pops.
It's Pops. And that was the coolest thing was that almost all of these breweries either had someone from Stone and Wood brewing there, or Stone and Wood was somehow involved in helping them get started. Like the Two Mates guys said one of the Stone and Wood guys actually went to the council to talk to them to kind of support their application.
Yep.
Which is amazing. I mean,
that's phenomenal.
That's fucking cool. And their brewery, and these guys they'd read our book, they'd sort of followed our story. They knew who we were. We walked in, they treated us like fucking royalty. It was just fucking unreal. And it's a cool brewery, especially the Two Mates one. It's like right on the train line. It's this old fucking crazy barn. It's awesome.
Yeah, right.
And Sanctus is amazing. Have you been to Sanctus?
No, but I do talk to Dale, the head brewer, quite frequently.
Yes.
And
it's fucking unbelievable. It's like a brew dog in the middle of industrial Yamba.
I've heard, yeah. I'm really keen to go down and have a look. Maybe I should take a bit of a jump on the motorbike and go and take a bit of a holiday down that way or something like that.
Yeah. Well, they have a thing. I don't know when they do it.
This is it Port Macquarie?
Yamba. It's not that far. It only took us. It took us 2.5 hours to get to Grafton because it's all just a freeway the whole way.
Yeah.
Super easy. And then you got Wandana, you got Earth Brewing, you got 7 Mile. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but there's Stone and Wood and Byron Bay. There's shitloads down there.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good, man.
So anyway, we didn't go to 7 Mile or Earth because we'd been there before. We just went to the ones we hadn't been to before. But shout out to those guys. And Currumbin are in there again at number 196, so that's cool. They got 2 in there.
What else we got, mate?
We got the indie list.
The indie list. What's the
Indie
indie
list.
list?
So independent, highest independent craft beers. If for
Where's
people who
that?
care about that.
Hang on, I'm going back to the list. Results, view. Where do I
Down the
find that?
Bottom right, scroll down to the bottom, and then bottom right is the indie craft beer list.
Results, indie.
I just Facebook messaged you the list if that helps.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
There
So
we go.
one Ben.
So what do we got here? So the indie list is basically those that would be defined as independent according to the IBA's definition, which is you must make less than 30 million litres of beer per year and not be owned by more than 20% by a company that in and of itself is not independent.
Well, actually, Coopers are on this list.
Well, I think Cooper should be in the IBA anyway. So,
but it says brewed by an independent brewery as defined by the Independent Brewers Association. Coopers are all over this list.
Well, that's a little bit awkward, isn't it?
It is. They're not members of the IBA, are they? Because they can't be because they brew too much beer.
No, they're too big. Wow,
Interesting.
That's really weird.
But they've included them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Close enough. Close enough.
Well, they should be part of it. So that's cool. Good on them.
So what do we got here? Ben spoke your mates. Like I see, independents were very well represented in the top 10.
Yeah. Better Beer, I suppose, is independent too, isn't it?
So eight of the actual top 10, the real top 10, are independent. That's really good.
Yeah, that is good. So it was just Bolter and Stone and Wood, was it? The only two.
Bolter and Stone and Wood. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I probably shouldn't be going on about how no one cares about independence. If eight of the top 10 beers.
They do care.
Yeah.
What does that big fucking red G mean for number 21, Big Shed Brewing Boozy Fruit? Why is there a big G? What does that mean?
Well, there's a big G next to quite a few of these. Or is it a C or a G?
It's a G. What does the G mean?
Big Shed.
Deeds Brewing.
Deeds
Hop Nation.
Hop Nation.
What does that mean?
Interesting. I don't know.
There's no bloody.
Oh, maybe it means it was a GABS beer. Big Shed Brewing Boozy Fruit.
Boozy Fruit is GABS beer. Yep. Okay.
Juice Train. Yeah. Was Jedi Juice is the J Juice one is the Jedi Juice, isn't it? Was that a GABS?
That's right. Yes.
Maybe it
was originally a GABS beer. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So only 3 of these beers on this list. Wait, has the main list got that little G thing going on? I would have thought there'd be more GABS beers than. Let me have a look at the main list.
Every time I see the double vanilla custard pancake imperial nitro thick shake IPA.
There's only 3 beers on the entire list that are GABS beers.
On this, yeah.
No, on the actual hottest 100 list. Only 3.
Yeah, right.
And it's those 3.
Well,
it's those 3, yeah.
Interesting.
Well, last year, I can think of, one of ours, GABS beers was on there. One of Crumbin's was on there. So there must have been
yes, that's right.
Last year.
Yeah. It's an interesting list. I think, I don't know. Lots of, what do you think about this? Like lots of people are saying that the hottest 100 beers should be just like the Triple J hottest 100, where it's the hottest 100 new songs. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think that's a terrible idea, but I do think they could. I do think no one cares about these lists by the time they come out. Like these came out, I think, on the Thursday or the Friday. By that point, it's you're done and dusted. So I don't think anyone cares. But I don't think it needs to be new beers because you have a look at the new beers list. You'd struggle to make up 100 fucking beers that people care about.
Yes,
it's got to be the best.
I think, as I sort of said last week, it's last couple of weeks actually. The hottest 100 is really about the change in consumer trends in craft brewing, and change in people's tastes and stuff like that. And I think that I'm kind of in favor of just keeping it the way that it is because they have the breakdown to get the new beers anyways. And that list has changed. If you go right the way back to 2008, that sort of thing, the hottest 100 has changed significantly over the years and continues to do so.
You know what hasn't changed the entire fucking time?
Stonewood Pacifico.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's been there right from the start, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
right
amazing, isn't it? And it's out of the top 4, but it's pretty incredible. You'd have to think it's going to be back in there. Sorry, out of the top 3 to be back in there next year, and it's ahead of its time, and it's still a beer that everyone cares about. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, the other funny thing about this list is, like, our beer in here is hazy IPA. I'm looking at the rest of the list. Hawaiian Haze. There's only 2 hazies in this top 10.
So many hazes in the hottest 100 in general, though.
Yeah, the shitloads, and it seems to be the beer that's really taking off. And like for us, Goat and East Coast Haze are by far our most popular, and the other beers are kind of trailing off in comparison. But I suppose XPA is a hazy, isn't it? They just don't call it that. It's pretty cloudy. I mean, Pacific Ale and XPA are pretty cloudy beers. They just don't really call them hazies.
Not enough to call it a hazy, I don't think. An XPA,
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, there you go.
Because a couple of years, because when was it? Because Jedi Juice was always right up there. Like, they were pretty close to winning it, weren't they? Or they were fucking up there anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Those ones have kind of dropped off. Anyway, Stone Wood's been there since the start.
Yeah.
I think was there two beers that have been in there since the start, or was it 2 or 3? I think it was Stone Wood, Little Creatures, and maybe one other.
Beachy Pale.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Beachy Pale's been in there forever. Definitely. So, what else we got on the list there?
What do we got? We got Mighty Craft.
Craft
released
Outlook.
Their results. I kind of skimmed over it. They actually look pretty good.
So what do we got here? Made $17.7 million from customer receipts for 3 months to 31st December, and sold 12.6 million in wholesale products. So that's like a $80 million a year company.
Yeah, I don't understand what these numbers mean though, but yes, I mean that. Yeah, I don't know how they count this revenue, so I probably should have done a bit more research.
Cash flow is fucking terrible though, isn't it?
The most interesting thing to me was this better beer part of it, which was they were saying they underestimated. I mean, you can't know what's happening a year out, but they said they're aiming to do 3 million litres in 2022, and in this one, only a few months later, they're saying actually that's nowhere near enough, where it's going to be at least 4 million litres. That's fucking incredible.
It's so what does this mean? Like, it said product manufacturing costs reached $10.5 million, and other costs meant that it had a cash outflow of $1.6 million for its operating activities. So is this company cash flow negative?
Yeah, they've never been profitable, but
well, profitable is not the same as cash flow positive.
No.
So you can be profitable and cash flow negative.
They've never been either, I don't think. Yeah.
And it's bloody hard to be cash flow positive.
Right, but their model is to kind of buy up these brands and, work on growing them. So you wouldn't really expect them to be pumping out a lot of cash. But
and they're running out of cash.
Yeah.
They had 17, I think it's over, actually, I think they had over $20 million in cash, and now they're down to 3.2 million.
Yeah, well, they've sold off a couple of things. I think they've got the Hunter Valley site for sale. What was the other one they sold? They sold the Jetty Road site. 3.5 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Stronger cash position, 10 million on hand at the end of the quarter compared to 4.8 the previous quarter. I guess due to some of those sales.
That's right. The thing is, you're liquidating assets to generate cash, and then you're not making money from those assets. What are you going to do?
Well, I guess they've changed their strategy a little bit, but yeah. I don't know, it's an interesting one. I always like seeing these updates because the whole thing confuses me a little bit, but you got to give them credit for fucking executing, because they've done so much stuff in a short amount of time. And you got to give him credit for this better beer thing too, because
it's gone off. It's gone off.
That's incredible. I mean, who else has started anything that's doing that kind of volume in that
and
short
getting
amount of time?
the top 10 of the GABS hottest 100 as well.
Like it's
impressive.
It's very impressive, and that beats in terms of volume. Like I don't really care that much about volume, but I think it's a bit misleading. But in terms of volume, who else would have gotten close to that much in their first year? Like Bolter would nowhere near that. And like who else would have been quicker than Bolter?
Yeah.
In terms of their, the product to hit the market and take off. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Is it sustainable from a cash? If you're going to grow just that SKU, better beer to 3 million litres a year, you're going to need to have very deep pockets.
But it's all contract brewed, isn't it? Like, I mean, why?
That means you're going to need even deeper pockets. Because the thing is that when you contract brew, everything's COD. And sometimes you got to pay in advance. I've done breweries at certain contract breweries where you have to pay for half of your cost of production 12 weeks out from brew day.
Yeah.
It's not very friendly to your cash flow when you got to do that, just to lock in, pay a 50% deposit just to lock in your brew slot, that sort of thing.
Yeah, contract brewing is an interesting one. I'm not a fan of outsourcing something that's so core to your business, but you can't argue with the success of companies who've done it. So I don't want to do it ever, but.
Name one contract brewing company who's, as in a contract brewing client who has their product contract brewed, who has been super successful.
Young Henry's, Mountain Goat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll pay that. True. On the back of that, they also have their own outlet, though.
No, Young Henry's. I don't think Young Henry's make a lot of beer outside of the country. I mean, I think most of it's made.
No, but they've got their own retail venue, bar, tap room, that sort of thing.
No, that's not. That wasn't the question.
A contract brewing company without a tap room just can't make money.
No, but Young Henry's are not making money from their tap room. I've been there. It's pretty chill. It's tiny.
Mm.
And better beer or not, they don't need a tap room. A tap room would not help them make more money.
No.
I think for that kind of brand, like it makes perfect sense. I mean, you probably couldn't make a beer that good in a small startup craft brewery. It's probably better than you could, like for that kind of beer, it's probably better than you can make in a.
You could do it. You're a good brewer.
I could chuck the flannel on. We'll see what happens. See how many carbs I get.
There's no fucking. It's not dry hop though. Just so you know.
No, it might not even be hopped.
Well, I would probably say that this beer wouldn't have actual hop pellets in it, but it has hops in it. It'll have some tetra hop in it. That's why they're able to put it into the clear bottle without getting light struck, which I think Luke Cooper was asking on the Facebook group.
Yes, that's a good point, actually. We did have a few questions in the group. That one won't come up because that was in a different thread, but I think we did have a few questions. Actually,
what do you got?
Actually, one other news thing I wanted to mention was this Social Brewers new brewery. And I mention this because this guy, Bo Curtis, he's not one of the 12, but he's Wade Curtis' brother is, who is one of the 12.
That's right. So full disclosure, Bo's a client of mine. We've been working together for over a year.
Nice.
He's doing pretty good. He's pretty close to opening now, and he's doing great.
And Wade's one of the 12, and Wade helped us out enormously when we started because he used to contract brew. We used to contract brew at Four Hearts before we had a brewery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Wade's also Eddie's cousin.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So it runs in the family.
On mum's side or dad's side?
I don't know. This is getting beyond my scope of. I think it's like a second cousin type or a cousin in marriage in law or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
It was
once removed.
one
or
of those
something.
sort of situations. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
There you
But
go.
when we were when we were getting started, we used to go and hang out with Wade, and we used to drink his Four Hearts pale in the bottle, and used to brew beer out there and everything. So, and it was quite hard back then to find a brewer to brew beer at. So he helped us a hell of a lot because we were brewing at Bacchus and doing sort of like 10 50 liter batches of the same beer and combining it all. So brewing 1,000 liters out of Four Hearts at once was a huge thing for us.
Yeah.
He's no longer involved in Four Hearts, but
That's
his
right.
brother now has the brewery. So
Wade's very knowledgeable when it comes to operating a brew pub and all that sort of stuff. He's done the hard yards. He's made the mistakes. He's learned from the mistakes and that sort of thing. And I'm sure that Wade's been in Beau's ear quite a lot to make sure that his venue will be successful.
Yeah, well, Four Hearts at Ipswich was great, and I think he was involved because he's working for Ballistic after that. I think he was involved in their Springfield.
All right. He's out of the beer game now, Wade.
He is, yeah, but you never know. He might be back.
I hope he comes back.
Yeah. I think there's probably more money to be made not making beer, to be honest. He's probably smart. Anyway, questions. Let me see if I've got in here that don't involve Facebook groups, because we'll save those for next time. Adam Shell was, how often do you check your email? The answer was barely ever, and I only checked it because he said to, and I figured out we had a sponsor, which was him. Thanks for the question. What else we got? Oh, this is a good one from Simpo. Simpo's our number one investor, as we know, because Connor is number 2.
I've got to have a beer with Simpo, eh?
Yes, you'd like him. He has the same haircut as you.
Great.
So Simpo's doing his own. He's doing his own homebrew. I was talking to GABS about it the other day when we went to Northern New South Wales, and GABS was like, "Yeah, I pretty much went there and brewed it for him, and then they went around there the other night to taste it. I think so. He's setting up an East Coast haze situation there in Palm Beach.
Nice.
He's got a question here. I have a question. Being brewers, which is plural, obviously referring to both of us.
Sure.
What's it like to brew in humidity like today? Today was next level humid. Surely you can't wear a flannel.
In this humidity?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a really interesting question because yes, it was hot today and very humid, and I'm a bit of a nut for safety in the brewery, as you know.
Yeah.
And no matter how hot it gets, I will not wear shorts in the brewery.
Yes, you have mentioned that. I was thinking of that when he asked that question, because if you're wearing the long pants, are you also wearing the flannel? Or I mean, you can't do that.
Well, you don't have to wear a flannel.
No.
I mean, that's your jam anyways, which is fine. I don't want to take that from you.
No,
because you've trademarked that.
That's true.
But I won't wear shorts in a brewery because the two most common injuries that brewers get are working on the floor is either they drop something on their foot or they get something hot and liquid down in their boot.
Yeah.
And so wearing long pants is kind of protects you a little bit from that.
Yeah. That's fair. This actually came up today.
You get a bit of I've got to admit, you do get the old Betty Swallocks, mate. It's pretty moist down there at the end of shift, and it's not pleasant, but that hot shower at the end of the shift just makes it all worthwhile. Okay.
Well, the visuals are coming thick and fast.
You didn't have to imagine that. That was just
okay. Well, I've got a graphic brain. Yeah, we had this conversation today. We had a production meeting and people are hot as fuck. And we got people wearing the high vis vest, and it's like, fuck, there's 2 layers of clothing. It's the hottest shit in the brewery.
Yes.
So yeah. Tough one.
Stoner Wood did some really interesting stuff when it got really hot. They got these really big, fucking 6 foot tall fans. They're as tall, nearly as tall as me. I'm not 6 foot, by the way. And they had them sort of around the brewery, and they had the water going through them, the mist going through them, so that if you wanted to cool off, you could just go stand in front of this mist fan, and it was just your whole body experience.
We talked about that, and the general feeling was that having that extra liquid in the air would just make humidity worse.
Try it.
Yeah,
you could always turn the water off.
I think the observation was that when the floors were wet, it was fucking worse. Like the heat would just come in, and you got the humidity, and it's just making things worse. But they might have they got very high ceilings, and they might have had good ventilation,
very high ceilings
up the top as well.
Not really.
No?
The most interesting brewery that I went to was Brick Lane. That brewery is 10,000 square meters, and it's air conditioned.
What?
Yeah, no
the
shit.
Whole thing.
Fucking oath.
Holy shit.
I was there, right?
No.
Doing some work for a client. I flew down for the day on the first flight, and I knew it was going to be a hot day. Walked in there, and so basically I'd fly to Melbourne for the day. First flight at 5:30, get the 6 p.m. flight or something back, so about 6 or 7 hours in Melbourne. And I left the brewery at sort of 3:30ish in the afternoon. It's middle of summer. It's 42-degree day in Melbourne. And I remember just walking out of the brewery and just getting hit with the heat. And I'm like, how come I wasn't feeling that in the brewery? And next time I was down there, I said, it was so hot outside. They said, yeah, it's air conditioning here. I'm like,
oh my God.
So
that must be living. I mean, that must cost a fucking fortune, and obviously, like, not very good for the environment.
It's Melbourne, so it's a dry heat, so they have all those it's not air conditioning; it's that evaporative cooling.
Which is what just takes the moisture out of the air, or
no, it puts moisture in the air.
Puts moisture in,
like those mist thingers.
Okay,
but like the whole warehouse sort of thing.
Wow.
Very, very, very interesting.
What do they do in like Bunnings? They don't have air. They have big fans and ventilation and shit, don't they?
Yeah, and evaporative cooling and that sort of thing. So evaporative cooling works in dry climates.
Right.
Works great in Perth. Works great in Melbourne when it gets hot in Melbourne and stuff like that. But no good up here.
No, it just makes it more humid.
It's too humid. It just makes things worse.
Yeah,
makes your Betty Swallocks more Betty Swallocks.
Well, I don't know what that means, but I know enough about what you described to know I don't want to know anymore. But yeah, good question. Go on.
It's just don't want to say sweaty bollocks. That's all.
Okay. Oh, now it is visual. I thought you were talking about your feet. Okay. All right. Thank you for explaining that to me. Yeah, well, that's a timely question, because I spent a bit of time today looking into quotes for fucking extraction fans and whatnot. So yeah, there you go. But to answer your question, yes, personally, because I only come in for the dry hop. I don't do the whole process. Like, I have people that do that. So I come in for the dry hop. I'm always wearing the plano, so that's fine. I can just take it off afterwards. Go back to my air-conditioned office.
Short and sharp. Yep. Exactly. I get it.
I am wearing shorts though. So,
do you have steel caps?
I do, and I've never worn them. I've actually got two boots.
That's so naughty. Whenever you're dry hopping, you should be wearing your steel caps.
Yeah, that's fair. I would love to wear my boots. Like, every opportunity, I think, fuck, I should have worn like, we have an Alpha Brew Day. I could wear them then. I've never worn them at work.
Dude, if you're fucking brewery, you should be wearing your steel caps, mate. That's a big no-no.
All right, well,
you got to set the example as the head brewer.
That's true. They're ready to go. They're so comfy. They're those cap ones. They're fucking legit.
Yeah, they're great. I love my steel caps. I wear them even when I don't need to wear them, because I find them really comfortable.
I should too, but you can't really. Yeah, I just don't really know when to. I guess, like, wearing shorts. You wear long pants. My jeans are fucking tight. They look weird. I don't know.
You need to get yourself a good pair of King G utility pants.
Yeah.
Lots of pockets. You need lots of pockets.
Yeah.
Right.
They help with the Betty Swallocks?
Well, they're quite loose, and so there's plenty of ventilation. Yeah. So yes, they help you with the Betty Swallocks. And that your steel caps, even if it's a really hot day, you can actually stay reasonably comfortable.
All right. Good tip. I like this question from Bevan Howell. Question not related to Facebook or GABS, which is good because I've fucking led everyone astray with the topic tonight. How does a brewer decide what can size they use? I now hesitate. Don't buy beers that are under 375, as once you pour it in a glass, it looks like you're getting ripped off. First world problems, I know. I fucking 100% agree. Don't fuck with cans that are under 375 because it's a shit size. Although, fine in a bottle.
That's 330 ml
That's
bottle.
a 330, and I'm fine with that. But
okay, that's a really good question because there's a few considerations. Cost is probably the main one, right? Have a look at this Better Beer at 355 mils.
Is it 355, is it?
It's a 355. So why didn't they go 375?
I can tell you, and I bet you it's not cost.
You tell me, what do you think it is?
It's that little number they've got written there next to the total calories for the beer.
The calories, exactly. They want to get the calories under 100.
Yeah.
And the only way they can do that is with a 355 ml can. That's
how many calories
right.
have you got on the can?
87, it says.
Okay, 81 on the bottle.
81. Yep. So 330 mil versus 355. And they'd be really pushing the 100 to the point where they couldn't make that food claim if they were 375. Right. So that's for this particular beer, 355 is the way to go. Next thing is consideration is cost, right? So depending upon the actual cost of the liquid and where you want the sell price on the shelf, the RRP, to sit, I don't think they would get this at $18 a six pack at 375 mils.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It's interesting. It's interesting with this beer in particular.
To use another example, that's not this beer. This is a pretty cheap beer to make.
Yeah.
Right. What about this one here? This Easy Times Big Easy IPA. Lots of malt, lots of hops in it. Very expensive beer to make. Right. The cost of production of that would be less per unit if it was a 355. That's how significant the raw materials is. Right.
Yeah.
It goes into it. The downside, though, is that you need more units, more cans, more lids, more 4-packs or 6-packs, more cartons, right? So your costs go up in that way. But you get more units, so you can sell more. So it's a real balancing act.
I just don't think it feels right. And I think that's interesting. That's 355 because I feel like the 355 was because Pirate Life cans used to be 355. And that was when they were taking off and killing the game. And it was just like, fuck, these are great, but the cans are too small. It's weird. And I feel like that.
Were they 330s?
No, I don't think so. I think that's
330 mil cans. Have a look at the size. You can see the difference in the size.
They're different, mate. You feel it. You can feel it. You can feel the difference.
Not much to it.
It is much. It is. It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. I think with that beer, they can do whatever they want. People are going to buy it. Doesn't matter. But I think for the most part, 355 feels weird and it's problematic.
Also, if you're thinking of starting a brewery and you're thinking about using 355 ml cans, or actually I'll go as far as saying here in Australia, anything that's not a 375. So 375 ml is the default can size. And so Vizzy and Aurora, they're making those cans 375 mils all the time. Why? Coca-Cola, Pepsi, et cetera, et cetera. They've got their machines geared up for 375 mil cans all the time, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you step outside that, the frequency in which they manufacture 355 or 330 mil cans is less, right? If you want a 375 ml can, you can pretty much pick up the phone.
Hence why the beer's in this, right?
Well, bottles are different. I'll come back to bottles.
No, but why is this beer in bottles? Because they couldn't get enough cans.
Is it?
I think so.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Is that a Vizzy can or an Aurora can?
Oh, let's see.
Show us the bottom of it. Show us it's a Vizzy can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the yellow dot?
Yes, they have a colored dot.
Yeah. Blue
process.
dot.
Yeah.
Is it blue dot for Aurora, isn't it?
No, I don't think they have colors. I don't think they have dots at all. So that's a Visi
Right.
can. They have different colors for different batch cans. That's how they do their
Gotcha.
batches.
Yeah.
But also the Aurora cans are thinner, and you can feel them, because I remember when Bolter started out, they were using Aurora cans, and you could feel how thin they are.
Yeah.
But they also have a lot more options with the printing on them, like the colors.
Aurora.
Yeah, the Visi cans are like super limited in terms of what they can do visually on the labels, and Aurora can basically do anything. So if you ever see a can that is like this is a label, but if that was a can fully printed, that would be an Aurora can. Like Visi can't make a can look like that.
No. It's really interesting. And so, yeah, well, that would be the reason that they ran out of cans, is that they couldn't get a manufacturing slot.
Yeah.
To manufacture the can.
Yeah, that could be possible, or because it just took up way too long. Oh no, I'm still here.
Oh, your camera turned off.
Yeah, or they just didn't have contracts, because we've got contracts with Visi, and it's taken a while to kind of get to that point, and they will give the suppliers, I guess, to people who've got contracts ahead of the people who don't have a contract.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you like picking your nose or something?
No, I'm not picking my nose.
Well, why'd you turn your camera off? Why'd you turn your camera off?
Bad internet.
Oh, is it? Has my internet gone bad again?
No, yours is fine. It's mine this time.
Oh, okay.
I think my kids are using the fucking the YouTubes or whatever.
Are they playing Fortnite?
Fortnite.
Always Fortnite.
Anyway, that was a good question. I like that. All right. I think the rest of these questions are probably all about Facebook groups, because that's where I led people. And here's a good one this is one for you, Hendo.
Radio.
What's it like going to a brewery, bar, or festival, and everyone knows who you are, and you probably don't know them? That could be a question for Leon, or even Hendo, or Dan.
Yeah, right. Okay. That happens to me a lot. Less so now that I don't have a brewing company, and I like that. I'm pretty straight up with people. I don't fake it. I'm just like, have we met before? Tell me when we last saw each other. There'll be a line that I'll sort of say to try and understand where they are, who they are, or where I've met them before, and that sort of thing. Because you meet so many people.
Yeah,
beer festivals, and all that sort of stuff. Or someone might know me from the old brew cult days and that sort of thing. And
you're a very distinctive looking person too. Like, you look like a fucking famous person. Like, I remember when I first saw you behind the bar at that festival, I'm like, you're fucking Hendo. Like you can see you from a mile away.
I don't know why that is the case. I don't post a lot on social media. I don't really participate in the beer consumer side of social media anymore, because I'm just bored of it. Got better things to do and that sort of thing. I read it and that sort of thing, but tend not to. I kind of like doing what I'm doing now, and keep to myself, really. See some of the old. I was actually, Facebook's really good. It gives you some of the old the memories and stuff like that, and I look at some of the old, a real moment of honesty, I think, with myself the other day. Some of the old posts that I used to do and stuff like that, back in 2014, 2015 and that sort of thing. Fucking hell, man, I was a flog.
Yeah, I know. You get those Facebook reminders. You're like, oh shit,
what a flog.
Yeah.
I just went, old Hendo, what a flog. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, that's what you want though. That's what you want. You want to keep continuing to do better. So,
well, you're going to continue to evolve. I think my plan for this year is really to, I think there's a way in which you can have a social media presence without being a flog, and I like helping people, and that's what I'm going to focus on.
Yeah, that's good. No, I like that. I like growing up, Hendo. I don't know if you answered the question. I suppose you did.
Still a dickhead. don't mind being a dickhead, but just not a flog dickhead.
I have to tell you, I'm not good at this, and I've never in my life been, I mean, until reasonably recently, been someone that people kind of recognize. I've always, because I did websites and shit before this. I was always sort of online. And my business before was,
and now you're in an industry that's very social and
yeah, and my business before was an overseas business. It's not like I was running into customers, down the street. But it is fucking weird, and I also don't have a very great memory. Like I always kind of recognize people's faces, but I'm not very good with names.
Yep.
So this, I hate to say it, happens to me all the fucking time. And I'm always like, hey, mate. And I just call everyone mate.
Mate.
And it's the best I can do. And I fucking love it. It's great that people come up and say hi. But if I go like Craft Festival, you go there, everyone fucking looks at me like
I think you just got to be straight up, and when you sort of, if someone you don't recognize comes and says, hey, Dan, how you going?
But that's the thing. I do recognize them, but I just don't remember
their names. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm shit with names, But I think you just got to be, straight up with it, because if you try and sort of, skirt around it and try and guess or something like that, then
I don't do that. I just call
you're going to get caught out. And I'd rather sort of take it. If you ask the question, it's like you're taking an interest. It's like, hey man, where did we see each other last? But
what if you've seen them 50 times before? Like that's what I fear. I'm like, fuck, I probably know this person really well. There's too many fucking people now. Like if I walk into the tap room, there's 50 people there. Actually, it was really good. We went the day after the crowdfunding, we went down to the tap room, and every person that came up to me was someone who invested in the crowdfunding. I'm like, fuck, you're one of our investors. Like I should know.
Okay,
you,
that's fucking, that's awkward. Except you've got 1,000 investors. That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could appreciate the difficulty in that you've sold shares in the business to the public, and you've got over 1,000 investors now or something like that.
I mean, we had 1,000 just in this round, and I don't know.
Oh shit! Right, so you've nearly got 1,500, 2,000 investors or something like that, and yeah, fuck. Can't really be expected to remember all their names.
No. But yeah, that is a good question. It is a weird thing. It's a weird thing to walk into a group and everyone knows you and you don't.
Yes. Just the last thing I wanted to touch on there, when I had the brewing company and that sort of thing, that was very much a little bit of a, to use the word rock star, lifestyle and that sort of thing in a very niche part of society. You're very, very well known.
Yeah.
People,
yeah.
They see you on social media. They're sitting on the bus on the way to their shit job, or sitting on the toilet, or something like that. And because it's beer, it's the thing that's associated with their downtime, their leisure.
And they're happy, and
it's a happy thing. Whereas for you and I, we work in the industry. It's our job, right? It's different. It's not a performance. It's our job. And I found when I had a brewing company, I was relieved when that ended in some respects, because it was getting really hard to go and enjoy a beer festival and that sort of thing, because punters, I don't know why this happened to me, but punters, it got to the point where people were sort of delving into my personal life and who I'm dating, who I'm hanging out with, and all that sort of thing. And I'm a pretty private person, and I found that really hard to process.
Interesting.
And so
because also people at these festivals, they've got a skin full of beer as well, so they're probably
exactly. But again, it's their downtime, it's their social life, it's their weekend, it's their fun time. You own a brewing company, you're at a beer festival, you're working, man. And the last thing you want is like what people gossiping about you and that sort of thing. And I think after, it took maybe about 18 months or 2 years after, Brewcol ended, where I finally went to a beer festival and not many people knew who I was. And I went, man, I'm just enjoying this beer festival. This is really cool. And I was also enjoying the beer festival as a punter, not
Yeah.
as someone who was working behind the bar and that sort of thing. And I really started to enjoy beer festivals again. So I don't know if that really answers the question, but when people, come up to you and sort of, they sort of say hi, they're coming from the perspectives they know you, they see you on social media, and they just think that you know them, right? It's a two-way relationship, but it's not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to be rude about it. It's just a genuine thing. I've got my life, you've got your life, and we're just doing stuff, living our lives, but our lives don't involve that particular person at the beer festival who's come up to you. So it's not being rude. It's just like, I'm doing things. I'm living my life. It's my life doesn't necessarily involve your life. Your life involves my life in some respects. But
I'm surprised by your take on that, Hendo. I almost want to, because
in what way? I'm curious.
Well, I'm not the most social person. I kind of need a few beers to get going.
Me too.
But I fucking love it that I think it's fucking awesome that people come up. And I think my situation is a little bit different because our business now is big enough where I can go to a beer festival and I'm not working.
Yeah.
I think it's cool as fuck that people come up. I just feel a little bit bad that I don't know as much about them as they know about me. So I can't, like what you said, like, I can't remember their name. I fucking know, like I recognize your face. I've seen you in the group. I've seen you like photos, but there's so many people. But I do think it's awesome that they're coming up and saying stuff. And
I used to love it. I really did. But I got to the point where there was that sort of critical mass in popularity that it became very intrusive. You're a private person. I'm a private person. And I maybe dealt with it in a different way. I won't say the right way or the wrong way and that sort of thing, but it really started to encroach on my. I'm like a fucking onion with, I've got layers and all that sort of shit, and maybe I'm the sort of person that keeps people at a distance, not because I'm a prick about it or anything like that. It's just that's just my personality and that sort of thing. It was people that I didn't know wanting to know intimate stuff about my personal life.
Yeah, right.
I felt very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Interesting. I have not experienced that, but
yet.
Yeah. I'm pretty fucking open though. I'll probably just tell them whatever they want to know. There's nothing too exciting going on in my life. Interesting. Good question. It is weird. I actually think the podcast thing is really powerful. I noticed this the first time. I mentioned before, I used to have a business doing websites. I never went out much outside of my zone, and my customers were all online. I went to one conference once, and I was speaking at it. Like my mate has put a conference on. He's like, "Oh, come down and tell your story about how you started this website business." It's like, "I'll do that." And I went down there, and everyone was looking at me, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like people are looking at me. This is a little bit strange. People are coming up to me like, "Fuck, we should grab a photo." And I had a podcast a long time ago.
Did you have a book?
I mean, yeah. Well, at that point, I didn't have a book, but I did about 100 episodes of a podcast about website marketing and stuff. This is a long time ago. And it was the first time I realized, like, one guy came up to me, he's like, "Fuck, oh, Dan Norris, like, shit, I've listened to your podcast. Can we get a photo?" And I was like, I've checked my stats. Like, there's not that many people that listen to this fucking podcast. Like, I shouldn't have fans.
Wouldn't have been more than 12.
No, it definitely wasn't more than 12. And if it was a multiple.
Yeah.
But I think there's something about podcasts. Like there's something about the medium of it. Like you read writing, you don't give a fuck who wrote it. Like you get on news.com, you read a story, it doesn't matter who wrote it.
We're in someone's car right now.
Yeah, we're in their fucking head. We're in there. Yeah. I mean, there's not many people listening to this, but if there is, we're right in their head. So there's something really intimate about podcasts. And I realized that that first conference I went to, I was like, holy shit, we don't have many episodes. I don't have many episodes out, but this person thinks I'm fucking famous or some shit.
YouTube is the same for me.
Right.
And I like YouTube. I plan to pretty seriously ramp up the YouTube production this year. It's always sort of been something that's quite, it's fucking hard to make a 10-minute video. It's so time consuming to make a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see people when people reach out to you on email and stuff like that, and they say, I've watched every single one of your videos and that sort of thing. YouTube's good. It's like, I like it. I like this too. It's pretty good.
YouTube is a fucking crazy business. They announced their earnings today. They made $8.7 billion this quarter in revenue from advertising, which was more than $1 billion more than all of Netflix subscription revenue.
Yeah.
So YouTube alone is this one small subsidiary of Google, makes more money from advertising on a free product than Netflix makes on their entire paid service.
Paid service, yeah.
It's fucking unbelievable.
Mm.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I would love to do more video, but it's really, really hard. It's my weakness, I think, video. It's fucking difficult.
I don't know. Your one for your last crowdfunding was pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Yeah. I'm working on it. All right. Good one, mate. So next week we've got Leon. Leon's back.
Oh, is he coming back? Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, just in the group, in the 12.
Yeah, great. Okay.
So we'll talk
that's
about
awesome.
Yeah, we'll talk about Facebook groups, communities.
That's right. Yeah, I'm really interested in that because I want to see what the current state of play is with sort of the craft beer social media scene. And I want to know, I actually don't really know what happened to Beer Thread.
I don't either. That's definitely
and
one of my questions.
I used to really love that group, and then it got banned, and then apparently it re-rose and got banned again. And I don't know the story, and I'd love to hear that story. So yeah, looking forward to that chat.
I'd love to too. I'd be interested also in just like there's a lot of shit that goes on in beer groups that I think is not cool. And I don't want to be that guy who's like, this isn't cool. But I'd be interested in hearing Leon's take on that because Beer Thread was probably the most savage of the groups.
Yes.
But he's the nicest fucking guy I've ever met in my life. Like he's
great to have a beer with as well.
Yeah, like I didn't know him very well until I met him, came to Queensland. I was like, fuck, you're the nicest fucking dude I've ever met. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to hear his take on how he manages all of that. Like, how do you not see something that's a bit fucked up and be like, I need to step in here?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, catch you next week. Looking forward to it.
Oh, and the final shout out to our sponsor, Helios.
Helios Brewing. Buy yourself a Heracles.
Buy yourself a Hercules. And this is why we need to get the text copy from the brewer with the words to read out, because I can't even read the fucking name of it. But it was yum.
Good.
Delicious. Love the label. Love that we have a sponsor.
Yep. I want some fresh beer as well. So Adsy.
Buy it.
Hook a brother up.
Go there. One of the 12, one of the Adsies.
Exactly.
Cheers, Hendo.
Take it easy. See you next week.
Have a good week and have fun tomorrow at the sunny coast. That sounds awesome.
Thanks, man. Post some photos.
Love Lukey and Smokey. See you, mate.
Cheers, mate.